This video is going to focus on the Gowipe attack and why it is a 2-star strategy. So generally not to be used in war unless you need just one extra point to put you over the top. But our opponent used this on Randy. I think he used it on some other people, but we're going to highlight Randy's defense. Pretty significant because look at this victory. We didn't do particularly well in this war. 90%, you should never win a war if all you can get is 90%. But if your opponent's going to be go wiping, then, you can get away with some sloppy attacks, and that's exactly what happened here. So let's take a look at this replay. All right, so pretty decent base that Randy has here. It's actually kind of vulnerable to maybe hog attacks, but this opponent doesn't see it, so he goes in with his, we'll highlight what we've got. There's a golem, and there's 3 Pekkas, and here we have 6 valkyries. Now he actually does a pretty good job of opening up the base here. He starts the attack fairly well, although I would say he was very sloppy with his wizards. He's going to attack on this side, and he's going to let those wizards get pretty much shot up by these point defenses because he doesn't get those Pekkas down soon enough. But even if he did, I don't think he would have won this attack. Randy's defenses are just too good. And then Pekkas just, they go so slow. And they tend to carve their way out of the middle of a base. So even if you can get them in, which Frank Wolf does here, they're probably not going to stay there. All right, so Frank starts off all right. He uses a hog to get the lure, but then he drops this golem down here a little bit early in my opinion, but good enough. He's going to take care of the clan castle troops with him. He gets some bombers to blow a hole open right here. You can see that that's a nice hole here, but like look at these wizards, and even these guys down here are spread out a little bit too far. They're going to get shot up, and he's going to lose them, and they won't be there for cleanup. But he does keep some in reserve for cleanup, so at least he accounted for that. Now he's dropping even more wizards. We're trying to establish a funnel. He could have improved this attack by having maybe just a couple giants or something to help him widen this funnel by focusing those wizards over here and here. It's okay if you leave a couple of buildings here for your Pekkas and Valkyries to bang on those while you're clearing out these 2 spots. This is actually a nice speed bump to kind of slow them down so you have them deployed, but they're not going to run around the outside. By the time these things are down, then they'll be looking for buildings that are inside. But that's not what he does. He gets a little bit sloppy with this. Funnel is really just too tight. But he does a good job of getting the Valkyries inside. You can see they're making their way into the core. Uses his earthquakes here, so he opens up the door for, he's at least got 1 Pekka and 4 Valkyries. Now, you'll notice in his troop deployment, or his spell deployment, he just did a heal right here. Valkyries are really, really good under rage. Heal can keep them alive a little bit longer, but the rage is what really makes them deadly, especially in a tight base like this. So I think he used the wrong spell here. He might have had a little bit better chance, but I still don't think he would have succeeded because he's relying on Pekkas. You notice he's got 2 in here. He wanted to make sure that the Pekkas didn't wander around the outside. So he waited until he had a pretty good funnel built here, and then he drops them. And they do it. But you'll see the Pekkas do what Pekkas do, and they walk right outside the base. He's got some wizards inside there, but they're leading the Pekkas. Finally with this rage spell, which, I mean, look, he put that rage spell down for about 5 seconds, and now everybody's outside of it. So again, poor spell deployment. Now the Pekkas are taking double damage by that Tesla up in the north. The wizards managed to get it down, but these guys are hurting pretty bad. His Valkyries are all but dead. He tried another heal spell and got the heal spell working on wizards now, which is basically useless because they take too much damage. The heal spell can't keep up with the damage that a wizard will take. And look at that. His Pekkas carve their way right out of the middle, so now they're going to work on non-defensive buildings while they're getting shot at. And this is the reason why you don't use Pekkas if you're trying to get 3 stars on somebody. Here's another development that's very interesting. We know the Pekkas are on the outside. Uh, they also have a tendency to gather up. So there's actually 2 Pekkas here, which is not good because they're so slow to begin with. Once a Pekka gets to a building, 1 or 2 hits that building's down. So if you have 2 Pekkas, you're not speeding up the attack in any way. You are providing a little bit of meat shield. But what I wanted to point out here is, look at these skeletons are attacking those Pekkas. Now, skeletons can't do a whole lot of damage, but the Pekkas still have to swing at them. And so they actually spend quite a bit of time getting rid of these annoying skeletons. Meanwhile, they've got that archer tower, the mortar, and the cannon all shooting at him. So, he loses quite a bit of hit points in that one spot just because of those skeletons. I think he's got 2 Pekkas. Nope, I guess there was only one left. So, 60%, that's pretty bad. It's not good. They needed a higher percentage. They might have been able to win the tiebreaker. If he got to 98% on a 2 star, it would have helped their cause. But it's a 2 star strategy. So please don't use this attack unless that's all you're trying to do is get 2 stars on an opponent.